versus shadow business world is the world of documented versus undocumented culture. It is the business life of open culture versus the unwritten rules of hidden culture that you must know to survive. We are telling you what others won't risk writing down. Good morning, everyone. I'm going to try this again. I've been up all morning long with a client who's been going through business politics, and it's been a bit sad, but they're getting through it. I want to talk to you again. My name is Cesara Johnson, and I'm a business educator, and I have an initiative called Seen versus Shadow, where I talk about the game of office politics and business politics. One thing that I want to talk to you about is performance being attacked. When you go through the game of office politics or business politics, you have to plan for your performance to be attacked. That's one of the tactics that are normally used to fight someone in business politics. So one thing that I suggest is that even when you are, let's say you are an employee and you are going through this whole office politics, or you feel like you're being thrown under the bus and you actually have a good case. Now, this is not in the case where you're actually being lazy or you're trying to get by or do wrong by a company or you're being unethical. No, this is actually if you are actually done wrong, you're actually being mistreated, and your company actually supports you, and they actually see that you have a valid case. If you do have a valid case, there are times that, like during the internal investigation, what will happen is that you'll have to be removed in order to be interviewed about the case or the offense. You'll have to be taken out of work. So let's say you work eight hours a day. You may have to spend 3 hours a day actually dealing with the offense or the case. Even if that is so, you cannot let your performance die down. Even if they take you out for let's say, again, you work for 8 hours, they take you out, like human resources takes you away for maybe like 3 hours in order to talk about the offense that has happened to you or the case, the investigation, whatever. You have to make sure that even when you leave the human resources or what other intervening agency is coming there to talk with you, you have to still do your 8 hours of performance regardless. So whatever your job task is, even if your company who is investigating your case takes you away to talk to you about the case, you still need to make sure that you have 8 hours of work done. Whether that means you have to stay over, whether that means you have to work some overtime, bring work home, anything. Because if not, what will happen is that if anything happens and the company has to protect itself, it will actually use your performance against you first. Okay, so you have certain characters in the game of politics. One, you have the person who is the offender. Then you have the person who is, or the entity that is the offended. And then you have like a mediation, or a mediator rather. And that mediator could be your actual company. Now, the reality is, even though you work for that company, and in the seen world, that company is hoping for a win-win situation, the reality is the company is there to protect itself first and foremost. Okay? first and foremost. So if you ever feel like, as the offended, if you ever feel like they did not handle the case the right way, or they didn't do it to the best of their ability, let it be known that the company will defend itself first and foremost. And again, your company who is being the mediator between you and the one who's offended you, still that company will defend itself first. So what you have to make sure that you do is you have to make sure your performance is always excellent. Again, even if the mediator says to you that, look, we need to talk to you for 30 minutes, for 2 hours, for 6 hours, we need to get your case written down, or we need to get some questions answered, we need to find out what happened to you. Let's say that takes 3 hours, okay? Again, once you leave the human resources office, or you leave whatever the mediator's office is, you have to get 8 hours of your work done, your assigned work done, because it will come back and bite you in the butt. The same people who are mediating for you, again, they are actually paid to represent the company and not you. They're hoping to have a win-win situation with you because you're an employee, but they're paid to represent the company first and foremost, to protect the company first and foremost. So you need to make sure that you protect yourself by ensuring that you have 8 hours of your work done, regardless of if the mediator takes you out of work for a set time, because they will use that against you. Not all places will do it, but again, in this shadow world, the seen world wants to do right by you. So the seen side of business wants to do right by you. They want it to be a win-win situation. They really, really do. But when the shadow side comes out, if there's a shadow side in that business, they will use your performance against you and happen not to say that your performance could have waned because of you were taken out back and forth. You were taken to talk about the case, talk about the investigation, talk about the accusations. They don't always say that part. They'll say, well, you weren't there. You didn't show up on your job. You didn't do X, Y, Z. So you want to make sure, again, that you're always doing 8 hours of performance on your job, regardless of whether you are taken out to do any sort of interviews or anything for an investigation, or again, just writing the accusations down, etc., etc. And another thing I just want to say is that if it keeps you up at night, you need to make sure that you're listening to some sort of excellent music, not crazy music, but very inspirational music, or very encouraging words, something in your ear to help you to go to sleep at night. Because in order for you to deal with office politics, you need your health, you need your strength. If you can't eat, make sure you have the Ensure drinks, or a drink that has like vitamins or something in it, to help you to sleep. So I don't want to make this too long, but I just wanted to give you a tip really quickly about performance. So again, performance is usually one of the first things attacked if you're in the game of politics, okay? So protect your performance no matter what, no matter what. Take care. Have a great morning.